Hey, shalom, shalom, akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Chodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which will be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, shalom, beloved Akiyam and Akwaf. It's just Bayan back again through the spirit and power and mercy. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And just want to get into a brief live stream, through the spirit, in reaction to this Dabu 7 video that he put up. I think he put it up yesterday, regarding the, Feast of Trumpets that these small hats, these nickel hats, are going to call themselves holding today. And you see the thumbnail, they're going to blast 100 shofars, which are ram's horns, all right, across the world. They're going to broadcast it, but needless to say, I'm going to play this clip, all right, and they're going off as usual, doing everything contrary to what the scriptures say, you see. And what we're going to do is we're going to blast on them, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. This is what the men of the Lord, one of the jobs of the men of the Lord is to what? Defend the gospel, man, and to pretty much pull down the strongholds, man. Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, has been orchestrating, all right, for hundreds of years, man. You see, so spirit and power Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we're gonna bring it out. All right, we're gonna smother, dust, and completely trample over this false understanding, this false narrative, and this false celebration, all right, that they call themselves having, man. All right, so through the spirit and power Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, let me start with this precept real quick. This just came to mind real quick. Let's go ahead. Let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, and verse 27. And it reads, "For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched," man. Okay? Look it. And who's the source of evil and deception? Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. All right? His history testifies against him that is so. All right? As for faith, it shall flourish, right? And the just are going to live by faith, right? The elect. Right? Corruption should be overcome upon the removal of evil E. Right? And the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And we're seeing the beginning stages of that now happen on this side. All right, and the kingdom of heaven is going to be in its perfection. All right, where righteousness is going to rule. Okay, but needless to say, let's go straight to this clip. Let's not even prolong it. Let's go straight to it. Listen to this madness.
At this very moment, the Israeli government is preparing for an event that has never happened in the entire history of the nation. You will be shocked when I share 3 discoveries of strange things happening in Israel. Discovery 1, the September 24th ceremony. On September 24th, 2025, Israel will do something unprecedented. They will coordinate a simultaneous blast of 100 shofars, ancient trumpets, across Jerusalem and broadcast it live to the entire world. 100 priests, 100 sacred trumpets, one earth-shaking sound that will echo not just through the streets of the holy city, but into the living rooms of millions of people across every continent. Think about that for a moment. In over 3,000 years of Jewish history, in all the celebrations of Rosh Hashanah, in all the sacred observances of the Feast of Trumpets, never once has Israel felt compelled to broadcast this holy moment to the entire world. Never once once have they coordinated exactly 100 shofar blasts simultaneously. Never once have they made what is traditionally an intimate religious observance into a global spectacle. So why now? Why 2025? Why are government leaders suddenly broadcasting one of their most sacred events to the whole world? But here's where this gets absolutely mind-blowing, and why millions of people around the world are asking the same question. What if this is the moment prophecy warned us about? The shofar isn't just any musical instrument. Throughout biblical history, it has been the sound of divine intervention, of calls to repentance, of the announcement of God's presence, and, most importantly, of the coming of the Messiah. When Abraham was about to sacrifice Isaac, a ram's horn provided the substitute sacrifice. When the walls of Jericho fell, it was to the sound of trumpets. When the year of Jubilee was announced, it was proclaimed with the shofar blast. And according to the New Testament, when Jesus returns, it will be announced with the sound of a trumpet. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God. And the dead in Christ shall rise first. 100 trumpets, one coordinated blast, one global audience, one question that should terrify and electrify every person who understands biblical prophecy. Are we about to witness something that no generation before us has ever seen? But hold on, because what I'm about to
No, nigga, you hold on. Now, real quick, Rosh Hashanah, you won't find that nowhere in the scriptures. All right? And I believe that's talking to like the beginning of the year. That's what they're likening it unto. Okay? And ultimately, as far as these 100 shofars are concerned, those weren't not used for the ceremony of Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets. Okay? The Israelites had 2 trumpets made of silver. Okay? Which would, in any given time, those would be the trumpets they would have. Granted, you know, they did use ram horns, you know, but not for a ceremony like this. You see, those silver trumpets were specifically used for, I guess, for lack of better words, I hate to say the word religious, but, you know, for gatherings, you know, feast days, we'll just keep it. Matter of fact, let me get this real quick to show you how bad they're going off. Ultimately, what they're doing is they're summoning demons is what they're doing. This is what they're going to do. Okay? Number 2, this is supposed to be a holy convocation. The world's not supposed to be involved in this type of ceremony. It's a feast day, a holy day to the Lord. Okay? And it's supposed to evolve around, it's supposed to be on the Sabbath. All right? Which evolves around the new moon. But you clearly see they're going off in so many ways, shapes, and forms. But anyway, we know this already. You know, but, you know, just for, you know, edification. All right, now real quick. When you go, let me see here, Numbers. When you go to the book of Numbers, the 10th chapter. Okay? Now, real quick, I'm going to read up, I'm going to jump down, is what I'm going to do. Right? Numbers 10, and it reads, And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver. Of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camps. Wait a minute. Let me jump down to verse 10. It reads this. Also in the day of your gladness and your solemn days, right? And in the beginning of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your power. I am the Lord Yahweh, your power. Okay? So those, if they were the real, if supposedly the real people, right? Wouldn't they have these 2 silver trumpets, man? These 2 trumpets made of pure silver, one piece? Or at least a replica of it? God damn. And as a matter of fact, when you go, I went to Chat GPT, right? Check this out. Yeah, Chat GPT snitching all over E. All right, I typed in, right, how many trumpets did the Israelites have at any given time? And we knew this, right? But check it out. The Bible specifies that the Israelites had 2 silver trumpets made for specific purposes. Hold on. This instruction is found in Numbers where we were just at. All right. Jumping down to the key points, right? It was made of silver. There was 2 of them. The purpose of them, right? To summon the congregation, to signal breaking camp, showing you the camps are valid for you camp haters out there. But anyway, to coordinate movements during travel, right? Because we were nomadic, right? To signal war or alarm. Look at this. Check this out. To be blown during feasts and over offerings. And again, we just read that in Numbers 10 and 10. So at any given time, the Israelites had 2 official trumpets. Where did these niggas get 100 from? And on top of that, they're ram's horns. Okay? Look it. Which is not the trumpets that this is talking to. Look. And so at any given time, the Israelites had 2 official trumpets for the use in religious and military communication, as commanded by Yahweh through Moses. Okay? Oh, and there's a note here. Other instruments like ram's horns, which a chauffeur is coined as a chauffeur as well, were also used, especially in later texts like the Fall of Jericho. But the official silver trumpets numbered 2. Okay? So what are these niggas doing regarding this feast day where they should be blowing 2 trumpets, not 100? Okay? And what are they doing? Doing this, broadcasting this all throughout the world when it should be a holy convocation, man. You see? But let's continue on with the video though.
Tell you next will complete. Are we about to witness a generation before us has ever seen? But hold on, because it will completely change how you see this event. Discovery 2, the Feast of Trumpets. Now we dive deep into why this particular date should have every person who believes in biblical prophecy on the edge of their seat. September 24th, 2025, isn't just any random date Israel chose for this unprecedented event. It falls exactly on Rosh Hashanah, the Feast of Trumpets.
Again, you will find that nowhere in the Bible.
One of the most prophetically significant days in the Jewish calendar. But here's what most people don't understand about the Feast of Trumpets, and why this year could be different from every other year in human history. The Feast of Trumpets has always been called the day no one knows the day or the hour. In ancient Jewish tradition, this feast began when 2 witnesses could confirm the sighting of the new moon. Until that moment arrived, no one knew exactly when the celebration would begin.
Wait, what? Where's that in the scriptures? Hold on. When you go to the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, starting at the 22nd verse, it reads, when ye reap the harvest of your land, ye shall not make clean riddance of the corners of thy field. When thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any glean. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord Yahweh your power. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, and the 1st day of the month, okay, which will be a new moon, all right, not a full moon, a new moon, okay, where it looks like there's nothing, no moon up there, right? Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, okay, the 7th month from when? The 7th month from the Passover, okay? We are in the 7th month. The beginning of the year is is the Passover in the spring. You see? But these niggas are talking about Rosh Hashanah, whatever the hell they're saying. It's the first of the year. Get out of here, man. Y'all niggas got it wrong. Look at, speaking to the children of Israel, saying in the 7th month, right? And the 1st day of the month, should ye have a Sabbat, right? A memorial of blowing of trumpets, a holy convocation. Where did this story that this nigga just explained come from? It's probably in the Talmud. Okay, I wouldn't know, but it's not in the Bible. Okay, this story he just made up. No, the blowing of the Feast of the Trumpet signifies the end of the harvest, man. All right, and in preparation for the Day of Atonement, 10 days after that, as we're gonna read right here. Right, ye shall do no silver work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord Yahweh. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, also on the 10th day of this 7th month. So on the 10th day of this 7th month, the same month, on that 10th day, okay, there should be a Day of Atonement, man. Okay, and the Day of Atonement, as we're aware of, as you should know, right? If you don't know, you'll know now. It will be that one year, at one time of the year, all right, with a priest, all right, the priest will go into the holiest of holies, man. All right, and the high priest will make that sacrifice for him and for the nation. It will be that one time of the year where he does that. Well, now we know Yahweh Shai is our chief priest, man. Yahweh Shai is our pursuant to the book of Romans. I think it's the 5th chapter. You see, with him being crucified, man. All right, and being resurrected the 3rd day. That whole process, Yahweh Shai is our atonement. But needless to say, just to make the point, the Day of Atonement is one of the highest holy days, man. All right, and it comes 10 days after the Feast of Blowing the Trumpets, man. Okay, which will land on the 30th of this month, sundown. All right, it will be to October 1st, sundown. That's the time this year. Which again, and this is being gauged off of the new moon. This is how we know. Let me read that again. Leviticus 23 and 27. Also on the 10th day of this 7th month, there should be a Day of Atonement. Right? It shall be in holy convocation unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls. Right? Dry fast. Right? And offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Yahweh. So back to the point. Jumping back up to verse 24. The feast of blowing the trumpets, or the memorial blowing the trumpets, or what have you, is a holy convocation. All right, it's not supposed to be being broadcasted throughout the whole world. All right, what are they truly doing? They're summoning demons is what they're doing. Okay, you already seen what they did with that red heifer. Okay, they call themselves building up the 3rd temple, which we're going to talk to that real quick through the Spirit as well. Let me play this clip.
For the one feast, the new moon. Until that moment arrived, no one knew exactly when the celebration would begin. It was the one feast that truly came like a thief in the night, unexpected and sudden. Now, listen carefully to what Jesus said when his disciples asked him about his return. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Matthew 24:36. Do you see the connection? Jesus used the exact same phrase that every Jew would associate with the Feast of Trumpets. But here's where this gets absolutely electrifying.
Aaron in the Spirit.
The Feast of Trumpets isn't just about celebration. It's about summoning. In Jewish tradition, the shofar blast served...
You heard what he just said. It's about summoning. And they're summoning demons, man.
Electrifying. The Feast of Trumpets isn't just about celebration. It's about summoning. In Jewish tradition, the shofar blast serves multiple purposes. It calls the people to repentance. It announces the presence of God. It proclaims the coming of the King. And it signals the gathering of the scattered tribes of Israel. Think about what's happening right now in our world. Israel has been regathered as a nation after nearly 2,000 years of exile, exactly as prophecy predicted.
Hold on, wait a minute. Prophecy didn't predict that you would be gathered the way you were gathered, all right, via 1948 Balfour Declaration, okay, and you landed on the land via a Boeing 747 jet, okay. No, the scriptures say, pursuing the Baruch, okay, 4th chapter, that we will be gathered by the word, okay, which is what's happening right now, real time, okay, via these digital epistles, okay, via these various sanctuaries set up in the form of these camps, excuse me, Salakia, these camps set up all around Babylon and the world for that matter. What's that, Isaiah 19? You see? We're being gathered by the word right now, man. All right, Yahweh Shai told us he's gonna bring us back to the land, man. Okay, when you go to the book of Matthew, the 24th chapter, the elect are gonna be delivered divinely, man, as it's detailed in Revelations 11. Okay, the Lord will gather, will command his angels to go to all four corners of the earth. Let me just go get that real quick. We got to get that. We got to. And these scriptures never run out of ammo. All right. Right to the point. Here we go. I gotta start up. Matthew 24 and 29. It reads, immediately after the tribulation of those days. Okay, showing you that there's no such thing as a rapture. Okay, for all you rapture thumpers out there. All right, immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened and the moon shall not give her light. Okay, yeah, you're not going to be able to find this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding anywhere, man. Okay, look, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, right? With these stars falling from heaven, this is allegorical speech talking to the missiles, man. Okay, this is talking to the missiles. Even John the Revelator said he's seen the stars falling from heaven, man. All right, it's going to be 200 million warheads, man, coming through here, man. This is allegorical. All right, the stars are not going to literally fall from heaven. This is talking about the missiles. Look, and the of the heavens shall be shaken. Okay, the power of the heavens being the elite. All right, this system, this Edomite beast system is going to be leveled, man. Okay, evil is in heavenly places right now. He's sovereign. You see that? There's 3 levels to heaven. All right, there's the heaven as far as the rulership on earth. You know, you're sovereign. You know, you've been given all the resources, the substance, you run shit, you call this be all. And you got the heavens as far as the constellations where the birds fly, the sun, the moon, and you got the fourth dimension. All right, where our power dwells, the third heaven. But look, check it out. Look, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. When has that happened? It hasn't yet. Okay? And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Okay, Yahweh Shai coming on the fathership with an onslaught, okay, of the hosts of heaven, man. The angels, man. Pursuing the Psalms 68. All right, Yahweh Shai is coming through here deep. You see? Let's continue on. This has not happened yet. Continuing on, right? And he shall send his angels with a great sound of trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Okay? This hasn't happened yet. So no, according to prophecy, you'll be the JOOs, you small hats, are not back in the land like prophecy says. Fuck out of here, man. Okay, let's go back to the video. There's a little left. It's almost over. Bear with me.
Israel has been regathered as a nation after nearly 2,000 years of exile, exactly as prophecy predicted. Jerusalem is under Jewish control again, exactly as prophecy predicted.
And again, obviously, that's not supposed to be the case. That land's supposed to be in the condition it's in now, all right, being trodden to the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Luke 21 and 24. That would be the status of the land, all right? And when you read down in Luke 21, it highlights the reality of how that's going to transition. Okay, so no, prophecy is against you, small hats, man. That's not exactly what prophecy says. You know, yeah, you could fool these mere mortals, but hey, matter of fact, I honestly want to go get that. I got a little bit of time. Let's go get Luke 21 and read down on that real quick. The book of Luke, chapter 21. I go fast, if not out of control fast, but Luke 21 and 24, and it reads, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, right, talking to the southern kingdom upon the siege of the second temple, okay, by Titus, okay? Look at, and shall be led away captive into all nations, right? The southern kingdom was forced into the interiors of Africa, right? The western and northern parts of Africa, all throughout there, man. Right, look at, and Jerusalem, and this right here declared the true discontinuing from our heritage, man. When you read that in Jeremiah, I think that's Jeremiah 17. That this is the fulfillment right here. This fulfilled that complete discontinuance at that point. Okay, because at this point, even the southern kingdom, was stripped from the understanding of the priesthood, and the whole process of the temple and all that, or what have you. You see? And lost sight of the oracles. But look, let's continue on. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, right? The natural Gentiles, okay? Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. There's two types of Gentiles. There's a natural Gentile and one of a Gentile state of mind, a Hellenized. All right, this is talking about the natural Gentiles, the heathen, okay, in this instance. All right, look it, and there shall be a sign in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress the nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. All right, and we're seeing this. We're seeing the signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars in the form of lunar and solar eclipses at an alignment rate. The chariots, all right, more importantly, all right, we're seeing the chariot sightings, man. Okay, there was just I'm gonna say it like this: a chariot that flew behind the sun, man. I want to say a week or so ago, 100 times bigger than the sun. All right, these are the type of signs we're gonna see prior to this. Men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. See that? All right, this is echoing the same thing Matthew echoed, man. The powers of the earth being shaken, because ultimately Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is gonna shake these niggas out of power through those ICBM missiles, man. Okay, when them ICBM missiles touch down, man, and those chariots, man, gonna be zapping, man. Okay, we don't include the chariots enough, and them chariots are gonna do damage, man, on a divine level. Look, continuing on, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming. See, look, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming, right? In a cloud, right? Cloud as in singular, as in the fathership, right? Because he's coming on that white horse, as it tells us in Revelations, with power and great glory, but he's also coming with the hosts. All right, as we mentioned earlier, Psalm 68, and it tells us that in Matthew 24, it highlights that fact as well. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up. Why, Lord? And lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth now. Redemption going into salvation, which our redemption can only come through Yahweh Shai. Okay? And that salvation is going to be from coming from above. You see? We're going to ascend. The elect, Lord willing, with the elect are going to ascend pursuant to Revelations 11. They're going to ascend up into a cloud, and our enemies are going to behold us. They're going to see it. Lord willing, we are the elect. But my point I'm making is, we didn't see not one of you small nickel hats, okay, ascend up into a chariot, man. That's no, hey, your enemies, the enemies of Israel are going to see that. Including 2/3 renegade Jake. That will be something that will be talked about, man. Pursuing to Jeremiah chapter 16 and chapter 23, you lying, nasty, clean leper, barbarians, man. Okay? There's no history of this happening. Okay, you landed there on a 747 Boeing, all right, with a 1948 Balfour Declaration in your hand, man. Okay, which does not fulfill prophecy. All right, so you're out of here. Let's continue on. There's only a little bit left of this video.
The stage is set for the prophecy predicted.
I'm gonna change the thumbnail.
Israel has been regathered as a nation
these niggas, look at these
after
niggas.
Nearly 2,000 years of exile.
Let me pause this real quick. Look at these lying niggas. Lying niggas, man.
Exactly as prophecy predicted.
Yeah, okay.
Jerusalem is under Jewish control again. Exactly as prophecy predicted. The stage is set for the rebuilding of the temple. Exactly as prophecy predicted.
And that's what I want to touch on. And we're going to leave these niggas right where they at. Okay? The prophecy of the building of the temple. The temple is being built up now. The temple is being built up now. The third temple is a spiritual temple. You know we're going to prove it. The third temple is a spiritual temple, man. It's not a temple made with hands. Okay? This third one here. You see? This is a temple that Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, he's not going to be able to siege this temple. Okay? Because this temple, and we are, the matter of fact, you already know. Let's go get it. When you go to the book, let's go to, let's go here. The book of 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 5, and it reads, yeah, I'm going to go straight to the point. Ye also, as the lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up what? Spiritual sacrifices, man. Acceptable to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man. Okay? Because ultimately, we are that temple. Let's go. You see, you Aki, I'm already know. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. Chapter 3. Now, matter of fact, let's get the 6 first. And we'll get chapter 3 after. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, right? In verse 19. And it reads, what, let me see, start right here. Yeah, I'll start right there. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of power, right? And ye are not your own. You see that? We are the temple. Let's go to 1 Peter. No, I'm sorry, not 1 Peter. 1 Corinthians. Where I was going to go before. 3 and 17. 6. And it reads, right? We're going to read down a little bit. Know ye not that ye are the temple of power, okay? And that the spirit of power dwelleth in you. Now, why didn't Yahweh Shai told the old girl, let me get a precept real quick. Go to the book of St. John. I'm going to go straight to the point. In verse 24, and it reads, no, matter of fact, gotta start up. I'm going to start at verse, damn. I'm going to just go to the point, but I'll highlight the idea. Yahweh Shai was speaking to that Samaritan woman by the well. All right, and he told her this. He said, St. John chapter 4 and verse 23, it reads, Yahweh Shai speaking red letter. This is what he told this bitch, right? But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Power is the spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. How do you think that's going to happen? How is that going to happen? Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai saying in Ezekiel, I think it's 11, all right, that he'll be a little sanctuary unto us. I got to go get that. Matter of fact, what I'm going to do, we'll close out with that. Because I want to go back to that 1 Corinthians, the 3rd chapter. We got to read down a little bit. I don't want to cut that precept short. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16 again, and we're going to read down. Right? Know ye not that ye are the temple of power, and that the spirit of power dwelleth in you? Verse 17, if any man defile the temple of power, him shall power destroy, for the temple of power is holy, which temple you are. Okay? We are likened unto a lively stone, part of the temple, man. Building up a spiritual house. Okay, you stupid ass small hats. All right, you're going to find that out. All right? You're going to find that out. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Yeah, it makes me sick, man, seeing these motherfuckers. Here it is. They stole our whole heritage, man. And they try to stand on it like it's a truth. But here it is. Everything they're speaking about, everything they're bringing out is contrary to the scriptures, man. All right? Completely anti-Messiah. Right? The book of Ezekiel, chapter 11. But this is why this is why we doing this lesson, though. Because this helps me exfoliate that anger. Right? By giving the Lord the caps of my lips and bringing out the truth of the matter, man, through the Spirit. Right? The book of Ezekiel, chapter 11, and verse 15, it reads, Son of man, thy brethren, even thy brethren, the men of thy kindred, and all the house of Israel, holy are they unto whom the inhabitants of Jerusalem have said, Get ye far from the Lord Yahweh, unto us is this land given in possession. Therefore, right, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, although I have cast him far off among the heathen, right? We've been scattered, man. That's part of the curses of Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them as a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. This third temple that's being built up is a spiritual one. All right? And it's one that evil E cannot penetrate. All right, and the way he's going to be able to defile your temple, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans and speckled birds out there, is if you allow him to put that karate in you. Okay? That chip, that device, the size of a grain of rice. All right, which is an idolatrous image, man. You're pleading allegiance to Esau being your God and this system being your green pasture, man. If you let this nigga climb inside you with that device, man. And that's how he's going to be able to get you. You see, but the Lord left 7,000 knees or 7,000 men or what have you that will not bow to the image of Baal, man. And Lord willing, we one of them through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But that's all I got, beloved Akiyam and Akwada. I could keep going through the spirit, but I got to get to the plantation. You already know what it is. The struggle's real, but it's almost over. We almost there, beloved Akiyam and Akwada. Stay strong, stay prayed up, stay faithful. Don't lose patience, stay diligent. Don't lose sight. Stand on prophecy. Prophecy speaking loud and clear. All right. And what you're witnessing over there in our land, all right, are these imposters are showing a sign of desperation. All right. They're showing a sign of desperation, man. All right. They're not broadcasting this all over the media today. There's 100 blasts for no reason, man. They're summoning demons. They're trying to put demons on these people, man. But we're about to win. The hopeful elect, the elect is about to win. Lord willing, we're part of the elect. But hey, Lord willing, you beloved Akiyam and Akwak will edify. Hey, let me check the combo real quick. Lord willing, you are spiritually fed. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And yeah, man, we just gotta keep pushing, man. We gotta just keep covering. We gotta keep covering ground. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We gotta keep covering ground. Hey, Shalom Shakal, my beloved brother, fellow soldier in arms. Hey, Shakal Yasha Allah. Hey, Shalom beloved Ak. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Barakatah. Oh, Akiyam and Akwaf will be out tomorrow. We're not going to be out today. We went out Saturday. I'm sorry, forgive me. We went out Monday, right? And, we went out Monday. Usually we go out Wednesday, obviously, but we moved it to Thursday. So we're going to go out Thursday. And then Lord willing, we'll be back out, Saturday, obviously, the main camp day. But we're not going to be out there tonight, though. So we did Monday, we're going to do Thursday, tomorrow, right? And then we'll do Saturday. Lord willing, if the Lord allows, man. All right, that's kind of the way things played out this week, with the memorial of the Feast of the Blowing of the Trumpets, the Spirit. But hey, Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatham to you, beloved Akiyam and Akwaf on the comment board, and to you, beloved Akiyam and Akwaf that are going to tune in later. Hey, again, Lord willing, you were edified, and Lord willing, you were spiritually fed through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Stay locked in. We're about to win. Locked in. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. A double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Lord willing, again, you beloved Akiam and Akwath will edify. Shalom.